So Godfred dame oye Addo Hanan ne lawyer abusua ene okoko piem wo court after say arrest Addo Hanan we no wodi nsem bebre aba beto dwa ne nsem odi to dwa no ene Godfred dame ekoko piem wo court abusua wo hwe expose upon expose ya disgrace Godfred dame wo court eche ashoke judges nimpo during the time as attorney general oye bibibi eche COP agbozo abusua case bi ebaya sa COP attorney general former attorney general your friend Godfred dame o involve sa COP agbojo chese na man na krampo no onim case no ho ba bia sam coup d'etat bia coup plot bi omo plot ya chese attorney general say papa no na otwe ne mutan kra na oka but according to lawyer Martin Kpebu no o say former attorney general Godfred dame kasa bie na num eka kire ne say Mr. Agbozo na oni case no onye involved ba ono ankasa ena de n'aka ho a chese opese case no case no mo yedu abusua and anso no japa and Atř0c case no abusua eno so ewo ho enti no attorney general Godfred dame ne nsem bia ode tutudua no onye very careful na efa Hanan case no ho nso no abusua enne obehwe nsem e course so ewo court enim guase echenchirenchi na Godfred dame ede egu no ho a enye asem keto akwa lawyer Martin Kpebu ede submissions bi aba beto dwa mo ko na yenkonko ti nsem e course no ye ba ye de aka ato am so unsubscribe ya subscribe na hit on the notification bell no so send be any updates bi aba drop no so onsa ebe to me akabi na Ghana ha say open computer papa and a laptop papa na we use a Borea Perosi computers and accessories ho and I'll be a laptop papa na we using the location and ya akwan o Kumasi Bukrom Estate Eli Fre number ya egu ye screen so 0247030108 and answer 0597942133 yambonra yensem ne ba ya de aka to amoso
is asking of the courts. Martin Kpebu is private legal practitioner. He's joining us on Zoom for a quick conversation on what's been happening right now. Counsel, good evening. Thank you for joining us here on Ghana Tonight. I first of all want to find out from you how things have played out since Saturday, and you've heard Godfred Adame there. The position he espouses is that, yes, his client had an order. In fact, he had some clearance and permission by the courts to travel to see an eye specialist. He was on his way, and then he was arrested, essentially put in this application today to have the courts compel the BNI to produce him. And he has said that while he was Attorney General, he never actually prevented anyone from traveling when the courts gave permission for the person standing trial to travel for whatever reason. And I want to find out your thoughts on this particular matter.
Okay, yeah. So, Mr. Okansi, I think that to be fair, Mr. Adame should not refer to his conduct whilst he was in office when dealing with Hanan's case. Otherwise, then he's digging up all the dead bodies, right? I mean, I am one practical or one concrete example, okay, of a lawyer who was in a case in which Dame opposed DCOP Dr. Benjamin Agojo's travel. He was traveling to go and do training. At that time, there was the coup plotters case. That's the Republic versus MacPam and then 9 others. ACP, well now DCOP Agojo, was prevented from traveling. So Godfred Dame need not say he never did. Agojo is alive. You can interview him. They opposed it, and Godfred Dame was in that case. So let's see. This is the difference. I'm not giving ultimate responsibility to Godfred Dame because he was Attorney General. But the case is that he was actually lawyer in the case. He was leading the prosecution as well. He was in that case, the Agojo case. So it's not just ultimate responsibility because he was Attorney General, but he was in that case. And they opposed Agojo's application to travel. All right? If they had agreed, the trial judge would have found it difficult to grant, to refuse, because then it would have been looking all that, the trial judges, the 3 judges, they would have found it almost impossible to refuse. Okay, so he shouldn't be referred. When I heard it, I cringed. I was like, oh, Godfred Dame is giving an opportunity for people to constantly bring up his conduct And of course, what he's complaining about relates to fair trials. And so the second point is that the infamous Japa tape comes to play. I will soon come to points that will be beneficial to Hanan. But it's because Godfred is digging up these issues, putting his own conduct in the line. That's how come we have to deflate him, tell him that we don't have short memories. So in the infamous Japa case, Godfred was caught on tape saying that he had no case against Japa and Atř0c, but that, especially for Atř0c, it was Oforiatta and President Addo who were on his neck, pressing him to get a conviction at all costs so that there would be a by-election at Atř0c's constituency. That was when we had the, is it 138, right? Or would you call it, is it 137 MPs for both NPP and NDC? And then so NPP got this majority because they got the Formina MP to work with them. So they needed Atř0c's seat badly so that they could have a buffer, right? So he was on tape. It also relates to fair trial. There are other things we could refer to, but at least these two have played out publicly. Agbojo, apart from preventing Agbojo from traveling, Godfred told me, and Agbojo was standing behind me, that there was no case against Agbojo, but he just added Agbojo to the coup plotters case to make the case weighty. So such a man is not the right messenger to cry for Hanan. No. It's right, not the right messenger.
I see. But on that particular point, let's get into the matters relating to Hanan. I'm telling you, you've as it were, brought other issues to challenge the position by Godfred about what he did while he was Attorney General. But I want us to get into the matter on the table now regarding exactly what's happened to this man and the account of his lawyers pointing to the permission by the courts and also what the Deputy Attorney General put out regarding what happened on Saturday. Counsel.
So now the arrest of Hanan, what I would say is that let's hold our horses because the situation is fluid. When the Attorney General files their papers, because I see Atř0c says they will file papers in court. So when they file, I'm sure TV3, you will get copies. Then we can review because I don't want to run ahead. You remember in the not too distant past, we were told during the Tokonu hearing that Edukusi was prevented from participating in the first day of the Tokonu hearing, and it amounted to a breach of Justice Tokonu's rights. That's the right to a fair hearing. When the case went to court, the substantive case, it turned out that on that day, Edukusi was excluded because he said he did not have the instructions of ex-Chief Justice Tokonu to represent her, to bind her. You see it. So, and there are other things we've seen before. So those mistakes have taught me a lesson that I don't need to rush to say some things against the prosecution, only for subsequent facts to show that I was running ahead of myself. I'll wait. A day or two will not spoil anything.
The lead counsel for the former CEO of the National Food Buffer Stock Company, Abdul Hanan, is asking the courts that, look, compel the Bureau of National Investigations, BNI, to produce my client because I cannot find him. That's really no contact with him. He's filed this application at the High Court seeking in fact, to compel the prosecution to bring their client, that's the former CEO of the Buffer Stock, before the court following his rearrest at the Accra International Airport. This happened on Saturday, the 4th of July, and we reported it quite extensively here on TV3. But according to the Deputy Attorney General who put this out on his Facebook page on Saturday, Dr. Justice Śhòćk, Hanan allegedly attempted to use false means. That was the expression that was used, false means, to access his frozen Republic Bank account before leaving for the UK. And this is instructive, and this has been at the heart of the matter. Godfred says that account by the Deputy Attorney General cannot be true. This did not happen. But Lord Edwasare was in court earlier today he spoke to Godfred Yeboah-Adame after on this particular development. But yesterday as well, we had a conversation with Godfred Yeboah-Adame regarding this particular development and what he intends to do going forward for his client. Take a look.
We were not given the opportunity to see our client at all. Indeed, we were told flatly that they don't allow lawyers to see their clients on weekends. And that's quite perplexing. I'm surprised. If a person is arrested, say on Friday night or Saturday, he'll be in without access to counsel. I mean, that's the republic in which we live now. And indeed, he's been picked up for no reason. As far as someone said, just been banded off into custody for no reason whatsoever. He's been given the right to leave the country, to travel to the country for a few days by a court of competent jurisdiction. The Deputy Attorney General himself was in court and argued, and this colleague of mine argued that day. And if indeed he had any objection to the order granted, he only had to appeal, but he had to sort this surreptitious means of preventing from traveling. I think that this is totally unwarranted and unnecessary.
Yeah, so the Deputy Attorney General also took to his Facebook post to make some comments that your client attempted emptying his frozen bank account. How true is that?
That claim is totally false. It's untrue. Did he produce to the public any evidence? Did he produce to you the manner or the evidence of the manner in which he attempted to withdraw? Because there's no such evidence. It is not true. My client has never attempted to withdraw any money from his account, even though it is important to state that presently there's no order of any court of competent jurisdiction preventing from accessing his account. The only order that they had was procured over a year ago before the discontinuance of the earlier prosecution. And we have a court ruling, a ruling of the High Court Addo about 3 weeks ago to the effect that that order has lapsed, and that if the Attorney General indeed desires to come for a fresh freezing order, he has to apply to the court. He has not done so. There is no order of any court preventing him from accessing his funds. Be that as it may, he has not accessed any funds at all. He should produce to the public, to the whole Ghanaian Republic, for us to see the manner in which he claims Hanan attempted to withdraw any money from the account. He has not issued any check. He has not executed any withdrawal note served on any bank. So how did he attempt to withdraw funds? And indeed, how do you access funds which are held in a frozen account, according to Attorney General? According to Attorney General, the account is frozen. If the account is frozen, how do you withdraw money from the frozen account? I think it's just an attempt to prevent him from traveling. And I'm quite surprised that the Attorney General himself will be complicit in a direct contravention of the rights of an accused person standing trial before the court. When the Attorney General himself was in court and argued, and the court granted him the permission to travel, why then does he resort to all these unlawful means?
Where was your client going to, and how many days is he going to spend?
He was going, the order given to him was for him to travel on or before the 4th of July and expiring on the 12th of July. So he was supposed to be back in the Republic. Indeed, his ticket even shows, I think he was supposed to be back even on the 11th, not even on the 12th that the court had given to him. And he was going through it. And then now today he's been banded off and he's thrown in BNI custody.
Well, that's Godfred Yeboah-Adame there. Now, one of the issues that he has also said is that he never stopped anyone from traveling while he was Attorney General. Anybody who was standing trial and had been given that particular leave by the courts to travel for medical, reasons, he as AG never stopped anyone from traveling as Attorney General. And you heard him condemning the arrest of the former National Food Buffer Company boss. That's Addo Hanan, who is his client. That's Godfred Yeboah-Adame's client. And I just want to walk you through exactly what's been happening over the last almost 48 hours and take a look at this. I'm going to follow me closely. Well, this is what his lawyers have done. They filed a new process asking the High Court to compel the Bureau of National Investigations to produce the man you see there, Addo Hanan, and to respect its own permitting, that's the order permitting him to travel for medical treatment. So this is what is at the heart of this, that initially the court had actually granted Addo Hanan permission to travel for medical treatment. That's according to his lawyers who are making this particular point. And at the heart of the Deputy Attorney General's position is that while doing that, he sought to access an account that was already a subject of the court's case against him. Now, this is the summary of the application by Addo Hanan's lawyers, and they give an account of exactly what happened on the 4th of July. He was arrested at the airport. The same day, he was cleared by the court order to travel to London for an eye specialist appointment. So this is what he was going for there, to see an eye specialist, an appointment. His lawyers and wife say they were denied access to him at the Bureau of National Investigation headquarters for over 24 hours after his arrest. And this is part of the application that is supporting, essentially, that particular demand by Hanan's lawyers to have the BNI produce him. Essentially, that's what the habeas corpus application is all about. They say the applicant left home in exercise of his right to freedom of movement, but was brazenly arrested at the airport and bundled off into detention. These are the reliefs that they are seeking. I mean, that's the application by Godfred, the lawyer for Addo Hanan. They want an order to the BNI to produce Addo Hanan before the court. They want the court to compel the BNI to comply with the court's own travel order dated 29 June 2026. They want a confirmation of the order permitting him to travel abroad for medical treatment that it still stands, essentially. So this, amongst others, are the reliefs that they are seeking in the court of law regarding this latest application that the lawyers for this man, the former Buffer Stock Company boss.
Okay, abusuya we ne ensema ekoso e political highway ne so lawyer Martin Kpebu na Atř0c odisa ensem no etudwa edmaya yenso ye de bi ebrem ye beda masesa mo je pene kokoti sa ensem we edmaya.